12/31, 2024, last day going into the new year with some readings from Proverbs that I think are very appropriate, starting out with verse 16 in chapter 26. The sluggard loses his hand in the dish. He is too weary to lift it to his mouth. This is like so, it just hits me in my soul. Like, you're in the bag of Cheetos, you're in the chips, you're in the bowl, right? You're eating the grapes over and over. You're eating until the sugar crashes you and you're so tired from the sugar high that you literally can't, you passed out on the couch watching TV while eating fake food. And it's like that's starting out the reading going into the new year, as we're all making our New Year's resolutions, as we're all trying to better ourselves. That should just be the one thing that we read today. But we're going to finish out chapter 26. The sluggard imagines himself wiser than 7 men who answer with good sense. Like the man who seizes a passing dog by the ears is he who meddles in a quarrel not his own. Like, so don't just go and, you're just going to seize a dog by its ears and harm it for no good reason, startle it, hurt it, for no good reason. Don't go and involve yourself in other people's drama for no good reason, which people do like to do. Like a crazed archer scattering firebrands and deadly arrows is the man who deceives his neighbor and then says, "I was only joking." I have no words, honestly, because how many times... And your neighbor doesn't have to be your neighbor. It can be your son. It can be your wife, right? And it's not a joke. These are firebrands. These are arrows. A crazed archer scattering firebrands and deadly arrows. Like, oh, I was only kidding. I just shot you with an arrow and I hit your carotid artery and I was only joking, right? So don't go and lie and deceive and then be like, oh, I was only kidding. Like, you could do great harm to somebody, especially if you're, talking about something very grievous and grave and a mortal sin of some kind. And so be very careful what you say. For lack of wood, the fire dies out, and when there is no talebearer, strife subsides. So when there's no talebearer, strife subsides. And we know what strife is. It's hardship. It's difficulty. And when there's no one out there telling these tales, there is no more strife. So literally, people telling false stories, people bearing false witness, that's what's causing all of this trouble, all of this drama, all of this anxiety in such a way. What a bellows is to live coals, what wood is to fire, such is a contentious man in enkindling strife. The words of a talebearer are like dainty morsels that sink into one's inmost being. Like a glazed finish on earthenware are smooth lips with a wicked heart. Like a smooth talker, a grima worm tongue, a person who is a good salesman but has the bad intentions. It's like, it looks good, it's dressed up, it's wearing the suit and tie, great hair, great smile. Everything is primed and proper, but the intentions are only set on the commission. With his lips, an enemy pretends, but in his inmost being, he maintains deceit. So very similar. An enemy is going to lie with his lips. He's going to pretend. He's going to say, I was only joking. But in his inmost being, he is being deceitful. He maintains deceit. He maintains dishonesty. He maintains this dishonest ethic. When he speaks graciously, trust him not, for 7 abominations are in his heart. The 7 deadly sins most likely when he speaks graciously. A man may conceal hatred under dissimulation, but his malice will be revealed in the assembly. He who digs a pit falls into it, and a stone comes back upon him who rolls it. The lying tongue is its owner's enemy, and the flattering mouth works ruin. And that is the end of chapter 26. And just to follow up with those last two, he who digs a pit falls into it, and he who pushes the stone, it comes back upon him. The owner's tongue the owner of a lying tongue is its enemy, and like the flattering mouth works ruin. Those are very self-explanatory, but we know that there's like people who dig pits, who dig graves, and they don't fall into it. But if you're digging yourself into a hole, it's best to stop digging so that you don't fall further, right? And then when you're doing something difficult, like pushing a stone, it's going to roll back on you. And this stone is probably representative of a lie. It doesn't necessarily have to be like Sisyphus, but it is such a metaphor of like, if you keep pressing into what is hard and difficult and not achieving any outcome, it's no longer stoic to keep saying, well, the obstacle is the way. If I just push this stone over the top of the mountain, when there might be another way to get over and up the mountain, by either seeking wisdom, seeking the glory of God, doing good works in his name, trying not to be the sluggard, and trying not to deceive people by trying to do the best that you can and trying to be as honest as you can. These things won't happen to you. You're not going to fall into a pit. You're not going to have the stone roll back onto you. So as we move into the new year, let's not be like the sluggard who falls asleep with a hand in his bowl, or the deceitful man who has who has, I want to say porcelain lips, but like the porcelain, like the pottery that is glazed and finished and nice. Be careful of what people tell you, and how they speak to you. For if they're maybe too gracious, it's like the spinach in your teeth. Are they telling you what's there? Are they telling you, right? My pet peeve is when people don't tell me there's something in my beard. It's like it's like a little embarrassing, like, oh, there's something in my beard, but at the end of the day, you don't want to walk around and have 18 people see the thing in your beard and think that you're some sluggard, when you could have a good, gracious friend who's a true friend and tell you the uncomfortable truth of, hey man, you got something stuck in your beard. Hey there, Delilah, you've got some spinach in your teeth. Yeah, it's embarrassing to be told that, and it might hurt a little, but at the end of the day, that's what's best, is saving face. And so let's find those metaphors in real life. Maybe someone's trying to tell us something about maybe not eating this, or doing this for the workout, or maybe doing this for your job, and it's not to be whatever. It's to prevent you from being the sluggard. It's to prevent you from having them be gracious and bestowing things. They're doing it for your own good. They're doing it for the good of God, the glory of the organization, the glory of everything. And so just know, let's find the metaphor for that, of who's being gracious and who's telling the truth. Because just because they're being nice and kind, they harbor, right, the 7 abominations. And so what are those? What are their true intentions?